What's up, guys? Keith, two guys out too. June's over there lugging a battery into this old Westfalia camper, and it's a 78 actually. I think I've been saying it's a 75 on all the videos for some reason. We got too much stuff we're working on around here and I can't remember, but it's a nice camper van. We got it used and we picked it up yesterday, brought it back to the shop, and it's never, the person, the old owner, never got it started, so we're gonna get it started today, at least attempt to, and show you guys how you can get your stuff started if you get it. We got a fresh battery. We know the battery's good. Yanked it out of another dune buggy that we had laying around the shop, so we know the battery's good. He's gonna hook up the battery cables in the back, and it's gonna be hard to see on these pancake motors up inside that engine compartment there. Let me get you guys down and ready. And now we can either check for spark inside the points, inside the distributor cap. We can put some gas down inside the carburetor and see if it fires off that way. We can pull a spark plug and hold it to a piece of metal with the wire hooked up to it and see if we got spark. We can do continuity for the coil, see what it's putting out, all that good stuff. I think we're gonna go old school.
No rotary button.
And June's in here now. We'll show you what we found. This might be an easy fix, it might not. But inside the distributor cap, he's got the distributor off. If you look down inside the distributor there, there's no rotor button at all, it's missing. Well, you're definitely not gonna get spark with that. So we need to go over and snatch a rotor button off of something else and bring it over here. So we're gonna double check all the wiring. We know the battery's hooked up. We've got it over there in the corner. It's hooked up. Let's go get a distributor. Let's go get a rotor button. And if we don't have one, we're gonna order one. And then we're gonna put it in there, and then we're gonna check for spark again coming off this coil out into the points. There are points down in that distributor?
Yeah, points look new.
Yeah.
See all this crud on there?
Yeah.
We'll clean that off too.
And we'll clean this distributor cap up. They're cheap enough where you can order them. We order them online, a whole kit with wires and everything for 26 bucks, 50 bucks, something like that. Comes with everything.
You get enough of that crud on there, it won't spark to your spark plug.
Yeah. Alright, so let's go get a rotor button and see if we can get this thing at least to kick out some kind of spark. We got a freshy battery, and we got the distributor cap off right there. And if we go ahead and turn the key over, we can look down and see if we get any spark. So June's going to go ahead and start it. And you can see the points right down there in the distributor.
Put the wire down in the flywheel down there.
Let's get this coil wire up out of here. Get all the wires, clips out of the way. And you can see the points right there, and your condensers right here with a small screw that holds it on and goes through and clips. Yep. You can see right there, okay? Yeah, there's no spark on those touch pads on the points. So we went ahead and we blew the motor out with the hand blower. This leaf blower here. We blew the whole engine bay out, and June happened to find the rotor button down in there. So what we're going to do, I think, just to start out, we're going to have to reset those points. And they look like somebody put them in, and they probably didn't gap them. We usually gap them at 16 thousandths of an inch. So June can show you how to do that. Let's get our tools ready and knock that out. And we've got some sandpaper, a little piece of emery cloth actually that we're going to fold over. And those points will pinch down on top of that on both sides of it like this, and June will just pull that up and down, cleaning them up. He's got his feeler gauges there, the old schoolers, and they say the different thousandths of an inch on them, so he's got the 16. And let me go on inside here and climb up so we can show you what's up on these. So we've got this engine compartment off. You can see from afar right there on this year van, you can actually take the top and get down into the motor. On the older vans, you can't. We had one, and that's what we didn't like about it. So he's gonna gap, basically take those points where the two touch pads touch and open the one touch pad up. Put that little piece of emery cloth in between there. Let it close down on top of the emery cloth, and he's just going to pull it up and down a few times just to kind of clean it off. It's hard to see. You can check out some of our other videos where we do it. You can see it right there real good. He's got the emery cloth pinched in between two of them, and he's just going to pull it up and down.
Just move it around a little bit.
You just want to clean them up a little bit. You don't want to wear them down too much. Look a lot better. We got some parts clean here. We're going to spray down there, open the points back up with that screwdriver. Just get all that dirt and debris off of it. And you want to let that air out because the spark in there will catch fire. So, we could do, let's try to start it again, see if we get some action, or we could just go ahead and gap them at 16. Sometimes, you know, they're set right, but they're just dirty. So let's see if we get some spark coming off of them. I'm going to dim the light a little bit so we can see. Yep. Yeah, I see a little bit. Try it again. Yeah. Go ahead. Not much. I saw some better spark. It probably burnt off the last little bit of that electrical cleaner. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to have to gap these points at 16 thousandths of an inch. Check them. If that doesn't work, clean them again. We're going to have to just swap them out. We're going to swap out the condenser on the side there as well. And if all of that isn't getting us the proper current and voltage we need in the spark, we're going to have to swap that blue coil out right there. So let's get busy and clean these points up. June, you're going to go through the bottom part there, June?
Yeah, I need to get that up on the high side.
Okay.
Yeah, we might have to bump this baby. These are...
Yeah, it's harder to... Okay, so we're going to bump the ignition over a few times until we get this tallest part of that lobe on that distributor shaft over onto the points, and it's actually going to lift that point up. Yep. We're going to go ahead and get a wrench up in here and turn this crank over to line up the highest side on that distributor. The distributor's kind of oval shape. We want the highest side on that, touching the points. Alright, so June's got his socket on the main crank right in the middle of that pulley, and we're going to turn it over by hand. And you can see, let me get up top here, you can see the distributor moving, and he's going to get that distributor top lobe, the oval topmost part of that distributor shaft.
Is that it?
Touching the points. Can you see it?
It's pretty close, isn't it?
I have to go around the other side and see. Let's get in here. That's the problem with these rear motors like this down inside these vans. It's hard to see the oval shape on the distributor shaft from here.
Yeah.
But on the bottommost part, you can see where it almost seems like this side's out.
There should be four sides out like that.
Yeah, so if this one's facing me, that one should be touching the points. Yeah. If he goes ahead and puts that feeler gauge down there, 16,000 in between those 2 points, it should slide down right now, no problem.
Oh.
And you can see they're all the way pinched shut.
So
So, yeah, we're gonna adjust these points. We're gonna just loosen them up. Got a flathead screwdriver.
Yep. Flathead.
And you can see that little nut right there, the bolt. He's gonna just loosen that a little bit. You don't have to take it all the way out. He's gonna put that gauge back through where those 2 points, the 2 pads meet on the points. So right now it should be on the highest side of that distributor shaft, and those points should be open at 16 thousandths of an inch. Right now they're closed, so whoever put these in here, they didn't know how to adjust them. So he opened up the points, he slid his gauge down in there. You see that feeler gauge, just a thin piece of metal. And then he's going to tighten up that screw that sets those points down in there. It locks the one side of the points while the other side will just keep opening and closing.
You want to make sure your points are touching that, because if not, it'll be out of whack.
Yeah, and he's saying the points themselves, when you loosen that screw, the points need to be set down inside that distributor like good. They can't wiggle around, and the one side needs to be actually touching the distributor shaft itself. If it's not, and you've got a gap there, then your whole gap that we're gapping now is with the feeler gauge is going to be off. So it's kind of like you got to push it up against the distributor shaft while keeping the feeler gauge in there, and then you tighten that one set screw that locks it in. So now he's got it gapped. You see how the points are staying open, and he's got his feeler gauge in between there.
And we're up against the shaft. So
yeah, and we're up against the shaft. So when that spins around, it's going to open and close the points. I just call them little point pads. I'm sure there's electrode or something, some scientific name, but that shaft has to open and push on those points like a little cam, and it's going to open the one and touch it. And it's all grounded out in there, and it's got hot wire, and everything's grounded right to the motor. You should have spark. So he's going to try to start it now. Let's take away the light and see if we get a bigger spark now. Yep. Do it again. I saw something. It's hard to see from here. I'm not liking the amount of output. It seemed like it should be brighter. Yeah, it could definitely be brighter. Let me climb up a little bit more and really get down in here. Let's do it again. Yeah, do it again. Let's make it darker, and we should see something popping down there where those two connect. I'm not seeing a lot of spark at all. I don't like it. I think the condenser's bad or the coil's bad. What we could do is try to spray off those points one more time, since we just took that dirty feeler gauge in there. Because I did see one spark, but then it kind of went away. So let's go ahead and just spray up that distributor one more time. Clean the points up. You want to open the points with the screwdriver as well. And we're gonna let that dry. Remember, if we get spark in there, it's gonna catch this whole bus on fire. You want that to dry. The one thing I notice here on these condenser wires, they got a little cuts and nicks in them. They look like somebody's just jacked them up. So I think we're gonna have to order a new condenser. Yeah, it's going to the coil. And the coil connections could be dirty too. I mean, this thing's been sitting for who knows how long. So we could use a little bit of emery cloth on those and maybe try it just to see if we can get a better connection from what we really need to, to get this thing to pop off and fire. Just take a little bit of emery cloth on there. Clean them up. Did we get any dielectric grease or no?
No.
Okay, we'll put some on later. Just want to make sure everything's clean and tight. And it's not too hard to get these things started. You just need a little bit of patience. But everything's got to be clean because this point system on these older vehicles, they're just finicky. I mean, you know, essentially we're going to swap it out to electronic ignition, but as far as right now, we got to get it running. June's going to pinch those little clip that goes to the distributor, from the condenser to the distributor. He's going to pinch them closed a little bit more, make sure that's getting good contact.
A little better.
Yeah, it's a little tighter there. If these things aren't just, everything's not right, they just don't run right. And they run great, but everything's got to be in tune.
Try it again.
You can try it one more time. I'll dampen the light and see if we get some spark. Get right down up on there so everybody can see as well. Yeah, there we go. So we're getting some, do it again. Yeah, we're getting some serious pop off now. So him cleaning up that coil right there. That coil connection going over to the condenser.
It's sloppy loose.
And he sprayed again. Once you touch those points, you always got to spray them because that little bit of dust or oil, they just won't fire. So I think we're good now. We put the distributor, the rotor button back in. He's going to clean that up. If you want, he's scraping it with a screwdriver. You can use a little bit of emery cloth on it and then hose it out outside again with that parts, electrical parts clean or carb clean or whatever you got. Just let it dry, because if you don't let it dry, you're going to get spark inside this and burn this bus up. He's just going to clean that up a little bit. And we'll put the cap back on. Ow! Put a little bit of gas down in this carburetor and see if we can get it to fire off, because we know the fuel lines aren't hooked up right now. So you can see also down inside that distributor cap, he's going to scrape it with his flathead screwdriver. And you can use a little bit of emery cloth or a wire brush on a drill, or just gently. You want to make sure all these connections are good. We want as much spark as we can get going to this motor. When we put some fresh gas in, it should fire up. You got 4 connections down in there because this is a 4-cylinder. So he's just cleaning each connection. That rotor button spins around and gets the current through there.
It's all for that.
Mm-hmm. It sends that signal right out through those wires. That's connected right directly to one of the cylinder wires. There's some corrosion on there. You can see the white stuff flaking off of it.
Spritzer.
Yeah, let's spray down in there. Remember, let this dry because you'll catch this stuff on fire, man. We're not even kidding. Don't be impatient. You spray it on there and hurry up and close that cap up and trap those fumes in there. Some weird stuff can happen. Extremely flammable. Seriously. So he's going to shake that out, get it dry. You can blow it out with some air too if we had the air. We're over on the side, so we don't have access to air right here. It's pretty good.
Pretty dry now?
Yeah, it's dry now, so put that back on there. And it can only go on one way.
Clips up.
lock those clips on, or hold that cap on there. Now going, maybe you can reach through the undercarriage, the back door there, and get it snapped on. See that one little clip there is giving him a hard time. You gotta make sure that cap's seated down in there nice and flat. Yep, we heard the click, so it's good. It's not loose. Put the coil wire back on. It goes from the coil to the center of the cap there. And all those, you can clean all those connections too, or you can just order a tune-up kit and swap them out. We're just gonna put some gas right down in this carburetor here. And this used to be fuel injected, I believe. Somebody's altered it out. So we're gonna take the top part to the air filter off here.
It's got clips on it.
Yeah.
Funny little things.
It's got a flathead screwdriver. Yours probably has a different setup, and if yours is, you know, people put all kinds of air filter housings on them. Just take it off, and we're just gonna put some straight gas right down into this carburetor. Right down. It's got a nice little 2-barrel carb on it. It's a sweet deal. Clean too. We have any gas over here or no?
Nope.
You got a little bit from that blower, but let's get some gas. Yeah, let's get some gas and fire this thing up. He's got some gas in an old rubbing alcohol container, and he's gonna dump it right down on the top of that carburetor. So if you go and look at one of these, I'm curious if you can get it started or if the motor's any good. You can do this while you're at the guy's property or whatever and fire it up.
Watch your face.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch my face. I'll leave the light here. And let's see, June's gonna start it up there. There you go. So we got spark. Motor sounds good. I don't hear any knocks. Let's do it one more time, June, just so I feel better about myself today. That we bought a good deal. That we bought something that's worth it. Put a little gas back in it.
You did already?
Yeah, you put a little bit more so it'll run a little longer so they can actually see it on the video. Yep, a little bit of freshy gas. And you can see where the fuel filter is right there coming off. It's just disconnected. And the fuel line's got an Allen key hole. So we're gonna, horn works, fire it up. Go ahead. Boom. And that's as long as she's gonna run because that gas. It burns out so quick, but that's it right there. So the van runs, we know it runs. Now we just got to go on to phase 2 as far as a dang fuel tank. Hopefully it doesn't have a hole in it. The lines are disconnected, but we know the motor runs. We know this is a good investment now. We want to sell it, we're going to make money. If we want to fix it and keep it, we got a good ride. The motor sounds pretty solid. I'm happy. So for today, this thing's been sitting for a long time. I think it was last registered, what, 2007? Somebody tagged it, but maybe they never even drove it, or maybe they did and parked it. And it's what, 2021 now, so this thing's been sitting for a while. Let's move on to plan 2, and thank you for tuning in. Hopefully that shows you how to get your vehicle started, and then just go onto the fuel lines and just make sure you got some fresh gas in there. If all the fuel lines are hooked up, change that fuel filter, and it should fire right up. Just keep using that gas to get it started until it primes that fuel line and gets it all the way from the tank up to there. So it's Keith, Two Guys How To. That's June, part 1 of the Westfalia camper, and we're going to show you a lot more things on this, on how to fix and what to do. You know, as far as just upkeep and things that we're just going to fix on it so we can cruise it around and camp and have some brews in there. So we're out. You're in there, we're here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, get some of it, save that money, fix it yourself. What's up, Iggy? Talk to him before I shut the video down. Oh yeah. Yep. You're not a pig, you're a lawyer. He's not a pig, he's a lawyer. Peace.
I'm not a pig, I'm a lawyer.